What if the most powerful OpenAI model in the world just dropped, and almost nobody in the West is talking about it yet? Today, we're diving into Kimi K3, the 2.8 trillion parameter beast from Moonshot AI that's already beating Fable 5 and GPT 5.6 on real coding tasks, building full games in minutes and doing it for a fraction of the price. By the end of this video, you'll know what Kimi K3 actually is, how it really compares to Fable 5 and GPT 5.6, the wildest use cases people are already shipping on X, and whether this is the DeepSeek moment for open models. If you're into AI that you can actually build with, not just read about, smash that like button and subscribe to PromptMatrix. We are building one of the fastest growing AI communities out there, and your support directly helps me bring you deep dives like this. And hey, drop a comment with K3 or Fable. I want to know which side you're on. So first thing first, what is Kimi K3? Kimi K3 is the new flagship model from Moonshot AI, the same lab behind the Kimi Assistant and Kimi Code. It officially launched on July 16th, 2026, and Moonshot is calling in the world's first open 3T class model, 2.8 trillion parameters, with a 1 million token context window and native multimodal capabilities. According to Moonshot's official tech blog, Kimi K3 is built for three big things. Long horizon coding. Think multi-file projects, repo-level refactors, and agentic workflows that run for hours with minimal human supervision. Knowledge work. Research reports, data analysis, interactive dashboards, even video editing is combined. Reasoning and vision. Combining text, images, and code to generate things like 3D scenes, simulations, and interactive UIs. Architecturally, it uses two new tricks. Kimi Delta Attention, it's called as KDA. This is a more efficient way to scale attention over very long contexts. And the other one is called as attention residuals, which helps the model retrieve and reuse information across layers instead of just stacking them. And on top of that, it's a mixture of experts model, which means that out of 896 experts, it activates about 16 at a time, which helps it stay efficient despite its insane size. And currently, if you're asking how you can get an access to Kimi K3, these are the following possibilities. You can use either kimi.com, the chat interface. It's also available as KimiWork, as a desktop agent for Mac and Windows. You can also leverage Kimi Code if you're more interested in software development via terminal or IDE coding agent. And the Kimi API, if you directly want to embed it into your current script or software system, you can use the API, which is currently priced at $3 per 1 million input tokens and 30 cents for cache hits and $15 per 1 million output tokens. And above all, like the most interesting thing for me was the full model weights are scheduled to be released by July 27, 2026 under a modified MIT license. And this will make this is the largest open weight model ever published. So if you're thinking, wait, open weights for a 2.8T model? Yeah, that's why people are freaking out. And how about the benchmarks? Okay, we talked about what's included, but how is it going to perform? So Moonshot says it's near frontier level, but what do the numbers actually say? On the Artificial Analysis Intelligence Index, Kimi K3 scores 57, putting it third overall, just behind Claude Fable 5 at 60 and GPT 5.6 Soul, which is the most powerful model from GPT 5.6, at 59. That puts it ahead of Claude Opus 4.8 and GPT 5.5, and clearly above every other open model on the board. And let's now analyze some of the benchmarks. On GPT-Val AAV2, a real-world work benchmark, Kimi K3 hits an ELO of 1668, a massive jump from K2.6, which was the previous model, and it scored 1191. Only Fable 5 and GPT 5.6 score higher. On AA Briefcase, which tests long horizon agentic knowledge work, K3 scores 1548, second only to Fable 5. But the real story shows up in coding benchmarks. So if you're interested in coding and if you'd like to try out Kimi K3, here's the most important part. On program bench, Kimi K3 tops the field at 77.8, edging out the Soul model and Fable 5. On SWE Marathon, K3 leads at 42, ahead of Opus 4.8 and the Soul model and also the Fable 5. On Terminal Bench 2.1, it scores 88.3, just behind Soul's 88.8, but ahead of both Fable 5 and Opus 4.8 at 84.6. So the pattern is clear. Overall intelligence slightly behind Fable 5 and the GPT 5.6 Soul model. But when it comes to coding, front-end, long tasks, and certain agentic workloads, it is often equal or better. And critically, it does this at a much lower cost per task, around 94 cents on average versus 2.71 for Fable 5. But if you're finding this useful so far, tap that like button. It really helps this video reach more builders in the AI community. All right, guys, let us take a look at some real-world examples. What do we have here? We have here an Counter-Strike duplicate or replica of with Kimi K3. And take a look at it. You have the maps on the top left and a scoreboard on top. But look at the details, how the game dynamics are looking like. It's pretty impressive, I have to say. Looks like a professionally developed game. And on this example, we have a simulation built on the left-hand side by Kimi K3 and on the right-hand side with the Fable. And what we see here is the both of these results are pretty much having the same results. Can't really differentiate between them. Graphics and the UI and the animation looks pretty similar, but the only difference is that the Kimi K3 model costs half of the price and even less than half of what Fable was. It's at a different level, guys. And here's another example of a mobile game, but it's also impressive that this time we have a comparison with Kimi K3 and GPT 5.6 Soul model, which is the frontier model from the GPT 5.6. Pretty similar looking result, but with the half of the price. How can the US companies or US AI models can really compete with the Chinese models? I'm astonished with the results for the price given. And in this example, the user called Lashuk put the K3 up against Fable in his benchmark. And the test was to clone Apple's homepage, single prompt, one shot, and no change in the code again. And what we have here is the Kimi K3 in the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side, we have the output from Fable model. And the same test, same prop, half the price. This is astonishing, guys. It's same quality, same result, but half the price. Again, and in this example, and this is our last example, we have a user called Chris built Kimi K3, a CSGO and Portal clone using 600,000 tokens. And in overall, it cost him 3.24 in API usage. And the same token cost would be $10.8 with the Fable and $6 with the GPT 5.6. It concludes that the era of free indie game development is closer than you think. Take a look at that, guys. Take a look at the detail. It looks quite professional to me. I play this game. I would have fun. I would maybe spend 10-20 hours without getting bored. And it's a multiplayer game built only by costing him less than $3.50, guys. I'm at the level we're at. We have it now almost like a frontier level, but with an amazing cost advantage. Let me know thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and give it a thumbs up. And I would say that's it for today. And we see each other in the next video, guys. Bye for now.